I'm at the Istanbul Airport, and I'm going to show you how to get to baggage claim, how to get to the cabs, taxis, ground transportation such as buses, and a lot more. All right, so if you stick with me, it's a great tour of the airport, very nice airport. You can see all the good stuff. So let's get started. So I just arrived to Istanbul, and I'm at the international terminal right now, and I'm making my way outside of the airport. Now, with this airport, you have to go through customs in order to get out of the airport when you're flying in internationally. So let that be known. So inside, there are a lot of those. They're not called escalators because you're not escalating or de-escalating. You're just going forward. So I guess you can call this a people mover. I'm not sure. Well, I just hopped on one of these, and it's taking me through the airport. And it's nice to see people actually walking and using their legs, because that's what they're intended for, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and walk through it. As you can see, there's a lot of glass windows in order for you to see outside and see what's going on. This is probably one of the busiest terminals right over here because it's the international terminal. And I'm just on the people mover. It's quite a modern airport. And I know plenty of people were thinking, Istanbul, perhaps the airport wouldn't look this nice. This looks like an airport that you would find in the United States or somewhere in Western Europe. Very nice, very well put together, clean. As you can see right down there, that's Turkish Airlines that I'm showing you. Turkish Airlines, those are a lot of the bigger jets in the international terminal lined up waiting to take on passengers. So I decided to get off of the people mover and decided to use my own 2 feet to walk through Istanbul Airport. So this side, the architecture looks kind of nice on the ceiling right here. Not too much going on if you're not like looking straight up. I'm guessing because this is not where they want to showcase all of their architectural skills. And did you see that? I just passed a scooter inside of the airport, and I thought about getting onto the scooter and riding off, but I want to show you the airport at a walking person's pace so you get a better feel of it. But I can tell you this, I am quite tempted to get on this scooter right here. It's blinking and it's saying, ride, just ride. But I chose not to. So I'm going to keep on going through the airport and paying attention to the signage, making sure that it's telling me to go to the right place. There are some people in here that just look like they don't know where they're going, but I do, I think. You'll notice that there are monitors on the right that show various things of departures and landings or arrivals. And look at that. That is the Welcome to Istanbul signage welcoming me to the city. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a escalator. Now, would you call this an escalator because I'm going down? Would you actually call it a de-escalator because I am de-escalating, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, all of you grammar police out there. All right, so I'm going to get off of the de-escalator. And I was tempted to get on one of those scooters, but yet again, I decided not to. So this part of the airport, it's actually quite a little bit more scenic, a little bit more going on, and I'm just going to keep on walking through this, all at the same time paying attention to the signage, making sure I'm going to the right place. It says passport control. Now I said that you have to go through customs before actually leaving the airport, so I saw signage for airport passport control, and that's where I need to go. And now there's a bunch of signage that talks about domestic transfers and all of this and that nature. Good and dandy, but if you're flying into Turkey, Istanbul, from a different country, you're going to have to go through customs. Now it's quite a long journey from where I exited my plane, but I've been on the plane for quite some time, so this is not too hard of a walk or too much to ask me for because I've been sitting on a plane for a long time. It feels quite good to get out and use my feet. So you can see this right here. It says passport control and baggage claim. So that's the area that you need to be in. Now, I came to Turkey without getting my visa in the beginning. So I have to go to the visa department to get my visa, which I did. It wasn't very expensive. You can actually get your visa in the airport. But once you get it at the airport, you're able to go through customs. Now, with that being said, you can go through customs after you get your visa. You can also apply for your visa online. Now, doing so will allow you to avoid problems getting through the customs once you land to the airport. And you can do things such as go to the restroom quickly and be able to get out through customs a lot faster. All right, so I got my visa, and then I went through customs, or also called passport control. And now I'm headed to a section in order to get my baggage, and then after getting my baggage, I am going to try to find a taxi, Uber, or something in order to get out of the airport. So I'm just coming up to here, and I'm looking at the signage. Now, what does this say? It says baggage claim. So I'm going to take the de-escalator and go down the de-escalator in order to get to the baggage. All right. So I'm right here looking all around. There's the duty-free store where you can buy all sorts of goods, duty-free. And I'm just going to go ahead and bypass that because I don't need to buy anything right now. So once I got through this, I'm going to be looking around. Airport seems to be looking a little bit more nicer, a little bit more attention to detail when it comes to architecture. As you can see at the ceiling, it looks pretty nice. And I'm just going to walk through here. There's a global exchange right there if you want to exchange your dollars. That is an option. But I'm just going to keep on strolling through, going through, and now I see the carousels for the baggage claim. And all I have to do is find the right carousel that represents the plane that I flew in on. So I'm looking up, and I think I found the right carousel where I can get my luggage, grab my luggage, and now it's time to escape the airport and get off into the mean streets of Istanbul. Istanbul. I don't know why I say Istanbul all the time. Maybe because it sounds similar to instant. But to get out of Istanbul, I'm just going to go ahead and follow the signage right here. It says exit. That means a way to leave. For those of you who didn't know. So I'm exiting the airport. And what's going on right here? All right, yeah, it says exit. Now, as I exit the airport, after I get through this, I'm going to have to try to find something in order to get out of the airport and find a taxi or an Uber. Now, this is very important to note when coming to Istanbul and you're getting a taxi or cab. As of to date, it is a law that they cannot negotiate the price. They must go by the meter, and that is both by Uber and by the taxis. They have to go by whatever the meter says, okay? And not negotiate. So don't get in the trap of them negotiating, because they will take more of your money than what is required for them to give you a trip to wherever you're going. So important note, I'm going to say it again. Do not negotiate the price. Go by the meter if you're in a taxi. If you are in an Uber, request an Uber. And if the Uber driver asks for more money because of tolls or whatnot, it is not true. It is actually illegal, not accurate. And they're just trying to get more money out of you. Just avoid it. If it's Uber, perhaps report them to Uber. Or if it is taxi, tell them no. Okay. And if the police find out that the taxi driver is doing it, they will get fined. Okay. So I just taking a look at the Burger King menu, because I always take a look at the Burger King menu no matter where I go. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. And I'm not getting Burger King. I am going to work my way out of the airport. I walked through the gates and no one was there to hug me or to embrace me. But I'm going to work. I'm going to walk forward and try to get out of the airport. Right there. What does it say? City transfer. You can read a lot of the signage. There is English that goes along with it, so you don't have to worry about trying to read this language. Turkish, I guess. So I'm just following some of the people, not really actually looked at where to go to catch an Uber or cab, and I'm headed that direction. I actually called an Uber for this trip right here, and what happened with the Uber driver is the Uber driver came after I requested it, and then as I was approaching the car, he sent me a message saying that I have to pay him more money on top of the payment that I already made through the Uber app. And so coming in, I kind of knew that, he was not telling me accurate information. I'm not going to call him a liar or anything, but he wasn't giving me accurate information. So I sent him a laughy emoji. And I said, no, you can't do that. I'm just going to take a taxi. And so I ended up taking a taxi instead of having the Uber driver charge me extra, which is in addition to the price that I paid through the app. That is, and he wanted more. And I just got out of this part of the airport and I decided to just take a taxi. Decided to take a taxi instead of doing that. So I did that, and we're just going to keep on walking a little bit. I'm just going to show you a little bit more of what's going on. There's restaurants, convenience stores, and a lot of things going over there. Is some sort of hospital or clinic that's going on over there, and just more. There's a lot of walking that you're going to be doing if you come to the Istanbul Airport. So be aware of that, and don't be too worried. And I've made my way almost to the actual exit that I'm supposed to go out of to catch the Uber or ground transportation. You can see right there, there's an exit sign. There's something that says taxi or TAKSI. We're just going to go that direction right there. If you can catch a taxi, you can go out the direction right there. And just go out. Now, the one thing that I learned about this is catching the Uber at this airport right here, you actually have to go up a level. Now, for some reason, and I guess it kind of makes sense, is they want the rideshare drivers to actually be on the same floor at all times, and that's for both arrival and departure. So check on that. Make sure that you're leaving the airport, you go to the part where the arrivals are at, even though your departure, go to where the departure's at, even though you're arriving at the airport, because it's all in the same place. So just check the signage to make sure that that didn't change, and I hope you enjoy Istanbul. Thanks a lot for watching.